Ever had that moment? A single comment, a look, and your whole afternoon is nuked. Imagine if I told you that biological sensation only actually lasts for 90 seconds. Unless you decide to keep fueling it. It's a biological alarm clock. It rings for exactly 90 seconds. If you don't hit the snooze button of your own thoughts, the sound simply stops. Here is the truth. Resentment is a decision. The adrenaline spikes, the cortisol floods, the rage burns. But in exactly 90 seconds, that chemical surge physically evaporates from your blood. Yet, we keep the fire burning. We loop the narrative. We practice our verbal counterattacks in the shower. It's like a smoke detector triggered by scorched popcorn. But instead of clearing the air, you keep throwing more kernels into the pan. Next time a reckless driver cuts you off, watch the clock. Your system is saturated. That is your 90-second window. But then the monologue starts. What a jerk. Who does he think he is? Suddenly, you are still fuming 20 miles down the road. Once you grasp this principle, you reach a fork in the road. You can let the biology drain away, or you can keep the embers glowing. We all know that one person who stays composed while the world burns. They aren't anomalies. You know, it's actually simpler than we think. Though, maybe simple isn't the right word. Let's look closer. You aren't hardware. You are not a machine. They really know how to get under my skin. We say this as if we are helpless, as if we are instruments left out on a porch for anyone to play. This is the puppet master myth. The idea that outsiders possess supernatural authority over your soul. Mechanisms only work when they are wired to a power source. Those buttons people push, they are just unaddressed traumas. They are personal values being stepped on. When someone agitates you, they are effectively handing you a map of where you still need to do the work. Your colleague drops a snide remark. You feel the heat. Stop. Ask, what is the root of this tension? Perhaps it's an echo of a hypercritical relative. Suddenly, that colleague isn't a master. They are a mirror. They are exposing a sensitive spot. When you stop acting like a machine, you become the pilot. No one gets a vote on your mood but you. Think about the person who irritates you most. What they provoke in you has nothing to do with them. It's all about you. Here is a shift in perspective. What you call anger isn't the core feeling. Anger is a suit of spiked armor. We put it on because we are shivering underneath. We feel rejection. We feel anxiety. We feel small. Someone critiques your work. You get defensive. You aren't angry. You are wounded. They failed to see your effort. Rage feels powerful. Vulnerability feels weak. So, rage becomes the spokesperson. Your spouse forgets your birthday. You erupt. You shout. But beneath the noise is a quiet sense of neglect. Am I even a priority? When you speak to the neglect, instead of venting the rage, the world changes. I felt overlooked builds a bridge. You are selfish builds a wall. Spot the emotion under the mask. Openness repairs. Aggression just builds higher ruins. Think of your last blowout. What was the fragile feeling hiding in the shadows? Between the event and the reaction, there is a gap. In that gap, you are king. But most of us leave the door wide open and let the wind blow the furniture around. Viktor Frankl realized this in the death camps. No matter the horror, you retain one right, the right to decide your outlook. The provocation hits, the veins fill. But before you lash out, there is a window. When you live in that window, you become the architect. A biting text arrives. Your thumb hovers over the screen. You want to sting back, but in that heartbeat, ask, which version of me will I be proud of tomorrow? That question is your trump card. It's the difference between a leaf in the wind and a mountain in the storm. The person who is never shaken has simply mastered the space between the hit and the reflex. What if you could watch your emotions like fish in a tank? You see the colors, you notice the speed, but you never get wet. Deep inside is the spectator, a part of you that watches the storm without becoming the rain. You observe, tension is building, my pulse is accelerating. But you don't become that tension, you just watch it pass. The spectator is still. The spectator is grounded. It thinks, I am having a thought that this person is incompetent. It does not think this person is incompetent. Your child rolls their eyes. Don't snap. Engage the spectator. I notice a wave of annoyance. Now you are analyzing the wave instead of drowning in it. You gain armor. You feel everything, but nothing dictates your moves. Recall a moment you stayed cool while others panicked. You were the spectator then. You can be the spectator now. By design. What if difficult people aren't roadblocks? What if they are heavy weights designed for your character development? Every person who irritates you is a free personal trainer for your soul. They are pointing to the muscles that are too weak to carry your peace. That boss, an endurance coach. That neighbor, a sparring partner for boundaries. A trainer pushes you through the burn to make you fast. These emotional coaches build your grit. A demanding boss sends a 15th request. Don't think they are out to get me. Think they are helping me stay centered under fire. It's not an attack. It's a high-intensity workout. You respond with calm. You ask for data. You become the MVP because you stopped being the victim. Look at your most draining relationship. What muscle are they helping you build? Boundaries aren't walls. Boundaries are the shore that tells the ocean where to stop. They let the land breathe. You can protect your battery without becoming a fortress. Healthy limits are like skin. They let you touch the world while keeping the bacteria out. You just have to be transparent. I hear you're upset, but I don't shout. Let's talk when the volume goes down. That isn't an attack, it's an assertion. A colleague vents for an hour. Don't soak it up. Set a perimeter. I value you, but I only have 10 minutes for venting today. You are shielding your health. You are staying available without burning out. You cannot water a garden from a dry well. Who exhausts you? What filter would save your serenity? There is a difference between a retreat and running away. One is authority, the other is fear. The most dominant move you can make is to step away. It's not frailty, it's high intelligence. You are letting your nervous system de-escalate. You are letting the rational brain take the wheel. I need a moment. Let's revisit this when I can give you a thoughtful answer. You aren't quitting, you're preparing. Your partner hits a touchy subject the moment you walk in. Don't bite. Try, "This is vital, but I'm drained. Can we talk after dinner?" You show respect for the issue and yourself. Pauses stop the damage that takes months to fix. 5 minutes of quiet prevents 5 days of apologies. We've all said things in a heat wave that we regretted by morning. Pauses delete those mistakes. Request the break. Don't just vanish. You wouldn't walk a minefield without a detector, so don't walk through life without mapping your triggers. Triggers follow a script, a dismissive tone, a scenario that feels like an old failure, a phrase that rubs a scar. When you map them, they lose their power. Ah, that tone reminds me of my old teacher. No wonder I feel defensive. Awareness is the shield. Spot the tripwire, step over it. Keep a log for 1 week. A spike hits, write it down. Who was there? What was the catalyst? What is the memory? You will see the architecture of your own mind. I get agitated when people are late. I hate joking insults. When you see the trap, you can prepare. Foresight turns a reflex into a choice. Understanding your sore spots is maturity. What rattles you consistently? That thread is your path to freedom. You can offer a heart without surrendering a nervous system. You can be there without getting lost in the storm. An empathy filter keeps your compassion active, but your boundaries intact. You see the distress, you don't take it home. It's like being a rescuer on the shore. You reach out with a pole. You don't jump into the whirlpool and drown. A sibling calls every night to cry. Don't let their grief ruin your sleep. I want to be your rock. Let's talk deeply on Tuesdays. The rest of the week, let's keep it light. You are a lifeline. You are not a sacrifice. A burnt-out friend helps no one. Think of who you are carrying. How could you care for them without drowning with them? You aren't reacting to what happened. You are reacting to your opinion of what happened. Rewrite the script. Every time a trigger hits, the brain crafts a tale. They think I'm stupid. They're trying to undermine me. These are guesses. They aren't evidence. A short response might be a headache. It doesn't mean they are mad. The narrative you choose dictates the life you feel. Boss sends a blunt email. Story A, I'm getting fired. Result, panic. Story B, they are in back-to-back meetings. Result, calm. Same text, different script, different biology. Edit your stories. Stop being a victim of your assumptions. Become the director. Information is useless without action. Mastery comes from repetition, not perfection. Start with one tool. Use it for 7 days. When the spark hits, remember the 90 seconds. When the urge to scream rises, find the gap. For 1 week, just try the Spectator. When a surge hits, say, I am observing a feeling. That's it. By week 2, it will be a reflex. Steady shifts lead to a total redesign. The person who is never bothered isn't a different species. They just practiced. You know, I used to think peace was something you found, but I was wrong. It's something you build. One 90-second window at a time. Imagine standing in the center of a storm. You hold the only key to the lighthouse. You watch the waves crash, and not a single drop ever touches your skin. That version of you is ready. Let's begin.